You want to live a more dynamic retirement? Next up, you're going to meet somebody who's hunting pythons, riding motocross, and living the real retirement of their dreams.
Welcome to Farm Truck Financial, where wisdom and wealth ride shotgun. Join Eric Kearney, president of Retirement Wealth Advisors, who believes that the best kind of planning happens when 4 tires hit the road. So hop in. Today, we're talking about investment strategies that drive results.
Farm Truck Financial, we're riding.
And welcome back to Farm Truck Financial. My name is Eric Kearney, president of Retirement Wealth Advisors, and I am super excited to have one of my best friends on here, Mark Williams. Mark, thank you for being on the show.
Oh, I'm honored to be here, Eric.
I've waited so long to have Mark on the show, and what you're going to realize is that there are a lot of retirees who out there who are living a dynamic lifestyle. That would be you, Mark.
Well, I've been told that. Most people around me say, you haven't quite stopped yet, have you?
No, that's for sure. So every email that we get, every phone call that we get from you, Mark, you always just make us laugh. Everybody lights up in the office when you either send us something or we talk to you and everything. But I want to get into really like what you're doing in retirement. But first, let's start off with, we met you right before COVID, and we've been doing financial planning and everything with you. But what were you doing prior to retiring?
Prior to retirement, I actually had 3 separate careers. Originally, my background is agricultural engineer, a graduate from Ohio State. And I worked in the farm equipment business for about 6 to 7 years. And then I transitioned into what I thought was my dream job, was Yamaha Motors Corporation with the motorcycle division. And the dream job ended up being somewhat of a nightmare. So I ended up being in a position, and I was living in New Jersey. And I had a territory, it was all of New Jersey and New York City, Long Island.
Wow.
That's no place for a farm boy from Ohio.
Right. Pretty urban.
To say I was a fish out of water is an understatement. So I had a customer who had a business, and it was going to go into receivership. And about that time, my wife at the time got pregnant, and I said, this is not for me.
Right.
And my child, I don't want to do this. So let me go ahead and get in this industry that you're trying to get out of. And and it turns out it stuck with me. It was a little bit of a struggle at first. And I would never advise somebody to buy a failing business. That didn't work out.
Right.
But I was able to pull myself up and figure it out. And then eventually I got to the point where it was the proper time to sell the business. And where am I going to go? I'm going to go where I don't have to shovel snow.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't have to scrape ice off the windshield.
Right, yeah.
And that's how I got here.
Yeah, that's how you ended up here. I mean, because you came from Pennsylvania, right?
I'm originally from Ohio, but I spent the past 30 years prior to moving here from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so growing up in upstate New York, I totally get that. You come down here, you do not want any more ice, snow, or anything like that. And pretty easy living, really.
Yeah, and you grew up in the Buffalo area. Yeah. I've always said that summer there is just 2 weeks of bad ice fishing.
That's so true. So, Mark, how did you transition into retirement? Were you comfortable with it? Did you have a problem from going from working to not doing anything?
Oh, it was huge. It was like going 100 miles an hour and hitting a brick wall. It was very uncomfortable. After about not even a month or 2, my wife said, get out of here and go do something, right? Figure out something to do. So I actually worked part-time for a water treatment company because I was knowledgeable on that. And then that kind of morphed into not so full-time.
Right.
And it wasn't going in the direction I wanted to. That was actually about when your team kicked in. And we became much more knowledgeable on where we stood because we really didn't know that much about it. And then the picture became clear. And then it became, okay, we are comfortable enough. And then I had some time
Mhm.
I found other avenues.
Yeah.
I found out there's a lot you can do around here.
Yeah.
And so I started doing it.
Yeah, you sure did. So when we come back, we're going to talk about pythons and motocross and how Mark actually evolved into this. And believe me, he is living a more than full retirement. Stay tuned. It's going to get a lot better.
Do you have questions and concerns about your money, lifestyle, and retirement? Like so many, investors today worry about living expenses, healthcare costs, inflation, and stock market volatility. Instead of worrying, start planning. Eric Kearney and his team at Retirement Wealth Advisors want to sit down, get to know you, and start to build a plan that matches your vision and goals. Let's have a real conversation about what's important to you and how we get there. We'll help build you a plan based on your goals, lifestyle, and income needs, with financial clarity over complexity. Call us today for a farm fresh second opinion. Remember, you only retire once, so let's get it right the first time.
And we are back with Mark Williams. So, Mark, you eventually evolved into doing some things. And I know that you ride motorcycles quite a bit. But the one thing when I talked to you was you're like, Eric, I want to come in and see you, but I don't have time. I'm out in Colorado riding my motorcycle right now, and I got to get back for python hunting. And we're like, what? And honestly, it didn't really surprise us at all. So how did you get involved with a python hunt?
The Python Challenge is something that is done here in southern Florida. I became aware of it partly because I am now a volunteer instructor with the University of Florida in what's called the Master Naturalist, the Florida Master Naturalist program. And I've become one of my acquaintances in that line of work is someone that is very tied to reptiles and invasive species. I became aware of the problem with the python situation. It's devastating the Everglades and Big Cypress.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And they're a top line predator. So I wanted to do is anything I could to help out in that.
Yeah.
And also it just sounded really cool.
There was an article and they said that they have some severe population drops of animals because of that. 99% of the bobcats, 99% of opossums, 99% of rabbits, and what was the other one? Raccoons. That's a severe population drop. I mean, 99% of those animals are gone. I would say that's more than severe. Like, I'm blown away. And I remember there was a gentleman that walked into a certain point in the Everglades, and he said, this place is loaded with pythons. And the guy goes, how do you know? He goes, there's no wildlife here. There's no birds coming out of the, he's like, you are surrounded by pythons right now. So this is a major problem.
It is. And indeed, it's, I verified it, and I verify it personally too. This past season, I spent one entire night and most of another night. We hunt at night. I have a scaffolding, a skid on top of my van, and we're up there with lights, and we were looking for snakes.
Yeah.
We're looking for pythons.
The mosquitoes look worse than the pythons.
Oh, they were horrendous.
Yeah.
It was mind-boggling.
Yeah.
It was awful. But the interesting thing is, in any place you go, you could do it in Naples or Cape Coral or anywhere, and go around at night with a light, and you're going to see rodents everywhere.
Yeah.
We saw none of that. It should have been everywhere.
Right.
We saw a couple of snakes of other species, and we saw one bobcat in all that time. So it's a serious problem.
And I'm a huge animal lover, so I don't want to get all this hate around here, but why do we have to be so humane in trying to eradicate this issue?
In the Python Challenge, there are strict rules and regulations on how you have to do it. It's called pithing or pithing, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And it's a humane way to immediately kill the animal. And there are other, people with agendas in different organizations. So you have to walk that fine line in trying to please as many people as possible.
Right, right.
That's the reason you can't just get really crazy with this and say, okay, we're going. And there could be, and you could, suggestions have been for do some sort of genetic thing to get rid of them, whether there's going to be side effects and that sort of thing. So it's a juggling act, and my heart goes out to the people responsible for this because it's just not easy.
No, I agree. I agree. And the problem is only going to get worse when you see what a female python can lay and how they have so many eggs and everything. It really is terrifying. I mean, I just don't see how this is ever going to go away.
If you look at what a python consumes from birth until its death, there's a chart, a variety of species, and the number of species it needs to consume to get to that full size.
Right.
And full size can be up to 15 to 20 feet.
That's amazing.
They can eat a small deer.
Yeah.
So in that lifespan, they can consume a lot of creatures.
So, hey, everybody, we are going to get into motocross riding, and Mark is an animal on these bikes. So stay tuned. We've got a lot more.
You know who has one of the toughest retirements? Procrastinators. You keep telling yourself, yeah, I'm going to get to that. But after months turn into years, you realize that time is one investment you can't buy back. The earlier you start, the longer your money works for you. Stop letting someday steal your future. The best time to start was yesterday. The next best time is right now. Don't let procrastination be the reason you work longer and retire smaller. Call us today for a complimentary review of your finances. And remember, you only retire once. So let's get it right the first time.
And welcome back to Farm Truck Financial. And we are with the Python hunter, Mark Williams, today. So
you can call me a python hunter, but I've done it for 2 years. I'm not successful at it.
here's the whole thing. You're much more of a python hunter than I am because I'm much more comfortable in my bed at night instead of looking at those mosquitoes. Mark, you are an inspiration, and this is really one of the reasons that I wanted to have you on my show, because we feel like a lot of people that go into retirement struggle with that, right? Like we were challenged with our careers. We had a lot of people that we knew, and things drop off after that. But you really have stepped on the gas. Motorcycle gas. So
True.
You are still riding motocross at this age. And let me tell you something. I ride motocross, and this is something that Mark and I have always had in common is we love like dirt bikes, right? And so the thing is that in my North Carolina home, when I wake up and I know I'm going to go out on one of those fire roads, in my mind, I'm popping wheelies, I'm flying up that road, and it's a completely different story when I'm out there. But in my head, I think I could do it all. But really, I mean, for you to still be riding, it's just intense.
Yeah, it's and there's a lot of reasons for it. For one, it's been an activity I've done. It's a hobby my entire life since I was probably about 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
Any way, shape, or form I could get on a motorized 2-wheeled vehicle, I was there. I loved it.
Right.
And so I've raced in literally every facet of motorcycling there is, from motocross to enduro to hare scrambles to observed trials. My specialty was enduro, the cross-country off-road thing, but I enjoyed all of it. And it taught me several things. It taught me how to fix things that are broken.
Yeah.
Because things break.
Right.
So it taught me how to get out of a bad situation, like if your motorcycle breaks down and you're 8 miles into the mountains in Colorado.
Yeah. So here's a really funny story, and I want to bring up this clip. Mark actually says, hey, I'm coming back, but we had a little problem out in Colorado. So tell us about this. There's a clip where there's 6 guys pulling a motorcycle out of the woods. What happened?
Well, ironically, the night before we had a discussion on our little bed and breakfast. It's like, we ride in these trails that are in the middle of nowhere. What would happen if something went wrong?
Yeah.
And one of the gentlemen, he says, you guys got to stop thinking like that. That's negative. That's
Right.
Well, guess what happened the next day? The next day, around 10:30 in the morning, we're 8 miles into the middle of nowhere at Timberline, up in the mountainous areas, and the engine completely locked up on one of the bikes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there we are. What do we do?
Right.
Well, we had tow ropes. We do that. We carry tow ropes. How are we going to get this out? We're having to climb over rocks 4 or 5 feet, pushing this up.
Right.
So from 10:30 in the morning until right about dark, there we were.
There you were.
But it was teamwork.
Yep.
And these were the cards we were dealt.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah.
that's what you do.
Yeah.
So
you were enjoying the scenery only in a different fashion.
yeah, literally at one point in time, we got into the lower elevation and a big bull moose comes walking by.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, interesting.
That's pretty cool.
It was very cool. Very cool.
I guess you never really would have seen that if you were riding, right? The next picture I want to bring up, you ran into, and I don't know what year this is, but you ran into the Mexican Federali. What is up with this picture?
Oh, okay. This was an interesting. I'm in about 300 or 400 miles south of the U.S. border.
That's a big bike. What is that bike?
That was. It looks big. It's got a big gas tank on it for long distances.
Oh, okay.
It was a Honda 250.
Oh, okay.
It was a Honda 250, and I ran into the Federalis. It's not in the picture, but there was a truck with Federalis on it behind me, and this was the one that could speak broken English somewhat, and he stopped me, and he didn't actually even ask for my papers. He was just trying to communicate with me, and he was. How this all transpired, I figured out, I know how I'm going to get away from here. He wants me to do a wheelie.
Oh, really?
And so they didn't get the photo of me doing the wheelie. I asked after our transit, he was going to let me go. I asked one of his people to take the photograph, if he could with my, and so he did. But that was, I did a wheelie for him and everybody clapped and then they let me go on my way. So it was a relief because it was by myself, and I'm like, where's this going to go?
Right.
Yeah.
You never know. Yeah. I mean, Mark, and that's the thing. You are living a super dynamic retirement. You're staying busy. You're staying active. You're challenging yourself. And I know that you still work on your motorcycles in your garage and everything. So really, this is what we're trying to do is when we get into retirement, we have to have something to retire to. And sometimes we do struggle a little bit. I don't know if you have to go so extreme as to go back and ride motocross and go python hunting, but you want to find a way to actually fill your time. So, Mark, thank you again so much for being on the show. We always appreciate it.
It was a pleasure. I enjoy being with you and your whole team. You guys are fantastic.
Thank you very much.
And it's really, really nice when you know where you stand financially, then you can do certain things that, it's like a gauge. It's like a gauge. Here's how much gas I got in my tank.
Right.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
And let's get. And Donna does a fantastic job of that, of letting us know here's where we stand.
Yeah.
I can go ahead and I can have fun. And if the budget's okay there, I'm going next month. I'm going to Thailand to ride dirt bikes.
Oh, wow.
And we'll see what transpires there completely across the world.
Oh, we'll definitely have to get you on another podcast, Mark. Mark from Thailand. Hey, everybody out there, live that dynamic lifestyle. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the back roads of Farm Truck Financial.
Thanks for riding along with us today. We hope you got some good dirt. If you liked today's show, subscribe, like, and share with all your farm truck friends. We hope you'll join us for the next ride on Farm Truck Financial, where we're always planting seeds for a better future, 1 mile, $1 at a time.
Farm Truck Financial, we're riding with you down the back road steady.